North on the only 1340 WTAN 10 radio network.
It's All Groovy with Robbie the Shark. Tune in Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1. Listen at your own risk.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
Oh, suki now. Hey! Come on, baby. Hey there, sugar darling. Let me tell you something. Girl, I've been trying to say now.
It's Saturday. It's 12 noon. This is the Tan Talk Radio Network. And it's All Groovy with the one, the only, Robbie the Shark.
Well, good afternoon, Matt, and everybody out there in Facebook, YouTube, and Radio Land here in Florida. I want you to know there's room on the left, on the right, or the middle. The pit is lit. Smoke 'em if you's got 'em. Matt, disclaimers, please.
All right, so the opinions expressed here on this radio show are those of the host and anybody who calls in on the show and do not reflect those of the Tan Talk Radio Network. If you want to get in on the discussions today, 727-441-3000 is the phone number to call. But again, opinions expressed today are those of the host and people on the phone line only. Do not reflect that of the Tan Talk Radio Network. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I knew there was something else you wanted me to do. Hold on.
That's funny, Matt. I love you.
Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man.
Again, welcome to the It's All Groovy show. And remember, with Elon told you all, everybody should get a fire pit. You know why? That's so neighbors get together and we talk. Okay? Listen to that, and hopefully we will get our $5,000. But I digress. We got to talk about Trump every week. And I'm tell you what, be honest with you, I'm completely sick of it every day. I mean, I was a Fox News freak. 10, 12 hours a day, including radio back and forth. That's all I listen to. All the conservative crapola. And every now and then I force myself to watch CNN just to get what the opposition is doing. But I'm sick of it on one hand. On the other hand, I understand. But we got to have a segment every week just about Trump. And so this is the open monologue, and it's brought to you by the Sunshine Chauffeur Service. Look them up on the internet. We just found a problem this morning. Look up Sunshine Cab, Largo, Florida. You'll get their number, but it's they're local airports, casinos, and charters. Call my friends, man. They're great. 727-527-RIDE. If you're drunk, that's the easy way to remember it. 527-RIDE, 727-527-7433. Tell them the Shark Sessions, and they'll treat you like royalty, whether you tell them I sent you or not. And why spend $10,000 going home from the bar, the pub, or the beach when you can spend a lousy $10? So anyways, let's get on with it. Thanks again, Matt.
Sure.
I'm so glad you're my producer. You take good care of me. You're really great.
I'm glad I'm glad I can be of service to you.
And again, welcome to the fire pit. I live on the bayou now. The weather's starting to break. I can't wait to start going out there and throwing a fishing line. Apparently, there's folks that bring their canoes out and actually go out there on the bayou. You didn't know there was a bayou in Florida, right?
No, I kind of had a feeling there would be. It's Florida.
Actually, it's the end of the Boca Ciega Bay. But it's not a bayou. Like, I've been in Louisiana, Mississippi before. But anyways, I'm off on a tangent.
That's okay. It happens.
Because I'm a little scared to get into this because it's deep, man. I have a real thought about this. Okay, like I said, we got to talk about Trump. And, of course, the big deal now is the Vlada Trump JD. This, in part, was meant to be a world show of the art of the deal. This program was intentionally set up, folks. I'm telling you, it was supposed to be a TV show. And even at the end, Trump said, this will make for great TV. But it did not go quite Trump's way. Meant to show the world the art of the deal and Trump's prowess. And let's just exchange pleasantries, sign the docs, have some lunch, but Vlada took out his ace in the hole, figuring, hey, I can get more. It's the art of the deal, SOB. You won't let me counter offer you. So that's what he did. And, Pooty Poot broke the ceasefire. He had a legitimate complaint. He restarted this crap. I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but that sends me thinking about Israel and all that crap too. But Fox News says Vlad didn't want peace. Fox Snooze, F-O-X, snooze. Take a good nap, especially now, because they're just going to be kissing Trump all over. And that's how we got elected in 2016, by the way. That's when I was homeless, and every day at the VA, we sat there drinking coffee. And what? I turned this SOP off. I got a restricted call every week, and it turns my phone back on.
Yeah, it's it. For some reason, the bad
Every
phone.
time,
The bad
every
phone.
week. It's a restricted call, too. Jesus, H. They just throw me off my game here, what I'm talking about.
Middle of Trump and Vladdy. That's what Ian's is talking about.
They're saying Vlad didn't want peace, but they fail to mention that Vlad wants Russia to pay for the crap they pulled. Let's put it that way. And they don't talk about this. The big deal here about this agreement, it is so huge for the entire world. I mean, you really got to contemplate this. The U.S. presence in Ukraine, that's the way it's pronounced, is better than NATO. In Ukraine, that's why it's a great deal, and that's great deal because we get back our bucks. Zelensky, Vlada, we'll talk about his name later, gets security. And how does he get security? Well, we got American people over there. They're going to be digging for these rare earth things that are absolutely necessary to our function as far as computers, everything, and our military. Okay, as we talked about last week about the steel mills, you can't be closing those things down. We got to bring more steel mills back here because that's what our military is. And the government was created to create post roads and protect the freedom of the people, keep them safe. Okay, that was the basic function of our government. And that's what we're trying to return to, get them the hell out of there. And the way to do that now with this Pooty Poot, and Vlada was funny. That's what I was getting at. Vlad and Vladimir. What's the difference? Come on, Pittsburghers and Yuns. It's just a different dialect. Serbians know. And I want to say hello. If he's still alive out there, Vlada Bascott. Every time I hear that name now, I think he was one of the greatest guys, him and his wife. But they own that floor shop up there in West Mifflin. I don't know. It was a groovy place. So, man, he was a really cool guy. Sold me ice, too, man. He was an ice salesman. He worked 2 jobs. He was really groovy. But I digress again. I can't help myself.
That's why we always say, listen at your own risk when you tune into the It's All Groovy show.
Well, that's why I'm medicated, you know. But you see, what happens here is Z gets a security. And how's he get a security? Well, we got all our people over there working. Russia is not going to frick around with us. Okay, if we let NATO go in there, now he's really peeved Pooty Poot. So he may attack, and there goes World War III, as we're getting into later at the end of it. Everybody saw the crap on all the news channels, even probably your local channels too, where he talks about that. And this is what the whole thing is about. It's World War III and peace. How can we attain it? And
I got one theory, but I'll save that for later.
No, go ahead.
You want world peace? Memo to Donald Trump. Shut up. Just shut up.
No. Shut up. That's what's great about this. This really was the art of the deal, man. This is beautiful.
But it's messing with people's lives at the end of the day. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I don't know if they're at a lull right now. I think they are. They're waiting to see what goes on here with the negotiations. I'm sure there's pot shots back and forth, just like there still is in Korea to this day. Pot shots going back and forth, so no BFD. Yeah, it could be, but nothing's really happening now because it looks like there will be peace, and there can be. But Pooty Poot had to save face. I mean, Russia, they were, I can't see Matt with that damn thing in my face.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'd like to look at your ugly face. Then I feel like
Well,
you're in the same room
Yeah,
with me.
why you like looking
Hey,
at my ugly mug? I don't
That's
know.
why, I don't like the fact that I'm on YouTube and all that because I got a face for radio.
Well, so do
Everybody
I.
says that.
That's why I'm glad I'm on this side of the glass and not there.
Well, thank you, Matt. But no, what I lost my place there.
Putin, Russian, all that stuff.
Yeah, this really is a great deal, and they're not going to screw with us. But with NATO, they might, because if Trump says we're done paying your bill to Europe, which he did the last time he was president, he made them pay their fair share. We might not act like World War II and let you suffer and go by the wayside too. What do you want to do here? NATO won't work. Okay, that definitely won't work. The only solution is Trump's. He did come up with a really good one here. And like I said, all those minerals, what do I call them, rare earth minerals, we got people over there. You don't think we're going to protect them people? I don't know if you looked at the map. Look it up online, the map of where, I don't know if it's tight. I don't know what the different lithium to make our batteries and all that other happy crap. All I'm watching my mouth today, Matt. Think about that.
Which is saying a lot, knowing you.
I'll tell you the story why. I got good medication this week.
right.
I got real good medication.
Yeah, you seemed a lot more mellow and happy when you walked in this morning to
Well,
get ready
thank
for the
you.
show.
Thank you. I noticed that myself even when I got in the cab. Sunshine Cab again, by the way. They are really great, man. Matter of fact, this dude don't start work till 6 a.m. And of course, my program used to be Thursday nights, and he would bring me in. And I moved to Saturdays, and he comes in just for me. And he does have at least one round trip to get him back home and, not have to pay the extra money. Then he picks me up and drives me home. And boom, he's done till 6 o'clock at night. Matter of fact, the owners called me when I was outside there. And he said, man, you sent me a text message. I said, I thought that went to Mike. He said, no, that went to my phone here at the company. And I said, no, that's right. He said, he don't go to work till 6 p.m. I said, no, every Saturday he does this for me. Because they really do treat you like family. And you Floridians know this. When you get a good cabbie, you don't let him go.
No, you don't.
You don't, because you'll get cheated. Oh my God, they're fair. Even if you get caught in traffic, you're not paying extra money. No, it's all groovy. It really is. I can't no other way to describe it. It really is groovy. But anyways, let's get back to the Trump deal here because I'm coming up on medication. No, I ain't. I got 10 more minutes.
You got time. You got plenty of time.
Why did I look at that damn clock? I hate when I do that. But no, okay. Then I get back to them. They really are. You can't believe. I've never seen cabbie like down here. 18 baseball seasons now. Can't wait for that to come back. This is going to be a fun season. We'll talk about that a little later on in the show with the Pirates and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about. But anyways, so Vlad is presented with this peace treaty, which will end the war. And like he said, the Ruskies broke the last one, just like Hamas did with Israel. So why should I trust them again? So he's trying to play his card, get a little more money out of it. And he was smooth because what he did, he knew it was going to be a TV deal. And it was all about basically boosting Trump. And look, you did such a good job electing me. I got this done. World peace. Boom. I mean, shining friggin' moment. And then everything after that, Trump says, I've seen a new sign, a new hat. He got, Trump is right again or some crap. This is the image he wanted to procure. And like I said, at the end of the show, he did say this will make good for good TV, even though it was confrontational, which was the grooviest part. You remember Trump said that they asked him, I spoke about this last week, will you endorse Vance for the next presidential election? He said, I'm not endorsing anybody, something to that effect.
And that's a problem right there.
Well, no, it's not a problem because basically, and I said that last week, it's up to him to earn it. And I did say this because Trump is not going to go out. He already gave orders. If the poop goes down, people going to die. They ain't going to kill him. He's not going to be a Kennedy and LBJ take over. No. That ain't the way it works. I'm not going to have a successor. That was the exact word.
Okay, that's what it was.
What made it important. Successor, which you would assume would be J.D. Vance. And no, it's not, because he's not going to have a successor. His successor is when you die in office. You have somebody who follows you after that, not a successor, because he is not he has nothing really to do with you anymore. He's back to his own person, or in these days, let's speak correctly, or her own person, Kamala.
Okay, Trump cares more about himself than he does the American people, I think.
No.
You don't think so?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. No. Oh, Trump loves himself. Believe it. He's a bigger narcissist than me, and I didn't think that was possible.
Oh, I did. I completely bought that the second he said I'm running for president again. I bought that when January 6th happened.
No, oh, really? No.
I believe that the second the insurrection happened. I fully believe that.
You have heard the latest news on that, right?
What's that?
And there, in fact, was, and news that they're covering up, that was done by the FBI.
I don't buy that. I buy that.
Did you see the videos? They held the door open for the people, and then the black cop shoots the broad. She didn't do nothing. She was smashed against the door.
But the only reason anybody even went after the Capitol on the 6th,
I don't like that.
The only reason anybody even went after the Capitol on the 6th, and by the way, this is just my take on it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. This is how I view it. It's that Trump was a sore loser when he got beat by Biden the last time, and he never directly said it, but Trump supporters, some of them, are dumb enough to believe whatever comes out of his mouth. And he's like, all right, I lost the election. And they were like, yeah, we interpreted that as, all right, we're going to take back the election. We're storming the Capitol. We're getting Trump back in office. That's how I saw that. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. That's how I interpreted it.
No, that's perfect.
Take that with what you will.
Like I said in the beginning of the show, there's room on the left, room on the right, and there's plenty of room down the middle. Smoke them if you got them. That's where we meet in the middle. We have our peace pipe, and it's all groovy. So you need both sides of the view, but you're absolutely wrong.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, that's just the way I looked at it.
In my humble opinion.
And I'm okay with that. You're entitled to your opinion, so am I.
My humble opinion, yeah. I coughed on network.
That's okay.
I think I'm wanting a cigarette. But anyhow, I digress again. When Trump got beat, first of all, let's go back to that. He was cheated. There's no doubt in anyone's mind.
There isn't mine. I don't buy the fact that Trump was cheated.
So let's screw that and say this. One good thing was he got cheated. So we got to see what the Democrats have been trying to do since 1963 in LBJ. Okay. And actually, further back than that, it goes back to, like I said last week, 1913. But I digress again. So now, no, that crap's over. We got to stop this. And I think Elon said this, what is never mind. I lost train of thought because I was not going there where you went with me. But I'm glad you argue with me.
And the way I look at it, the fact
disagreed with me. Let's put it that way, not argue with me.
Yeah, it's a respectful disagreement.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
But I
don't want to get hostile over it. I'm just saying how I feel.
When I go home, and I might actually watch this program, like I said a few weeks ago. I usually don't watch myself because I don't know. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I hate myself. But, I have fun anyways. And I think I will listen to this one to listen to you, because I'm getting. And that's what I miss about Cheryl is I'm getting the other side, the one who leans a little bit more left, but is also they're more middle of the road person.
Yeah,
you're middle of the road.
The way I look at it, I couldn't give.
See, that's what makes you groovy.
I couldn't give a crap one side or the other. I don't care.
Yeah, as long as it really doesn't affect your life too much.
Oh, hell no.
Absolutely not. Not like the FOWVID. You know what FOWVID is?
No.
FOWL, foul, as in bird.
Yeah.
Foul.
Oh.
Vid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bird flu.
Thank you.
Bird flu, I'll say it.
And that was created by Nazi Fauci in China.
And I'm going to be honest with you, as far as the political talk is concerned, I'm going to be more affected by what happens with the Lightning game in a little while because they play in Washington.
They're coming on at half past, right?
They're starting in like 10 minutes.
All right, make sure you switch my TV too.
I'll take care of that in a minute, but I'm going to be more affected.
Are we still sitting third?
Yeah, you're still third in the division. I'll do that when you're out on your medication break and I come back. I'll get into all that stuff in a few minutes.
Super duper groovy. I love that.
The way I look at it as far as politics is concerned, I'm more affected in my daily life by what happens to my sports teams, the Lightning, the Rays, the Islanders, the Mets. That affects me more in my daily life than anything politically will ever affect me.
And
I will say this much. And I know it's only been a little over a month as we sit here on March 1st, but our beloved commander-in-chief, and I say beloved very, very loosely from where I sit, our commander-in-chief said he was going to get inflation down and drop the price of, say, eggs. Went to Publix yesterday to go food shopping. Half a dozen eggs is still $4.31. So,
called
yeah.
supply and demand. There's no supply. Why? Because of Nazi Faci.
Well, then again, you also cut up your nose despite your face, not dealing with tariffs anymore coming from Canada. You're supposed to be our allies. You cut up your nose despite your face.
Oh, boy, I got to teach you. I'll learn you. we ain't going to have enough time on this show. I want to get into that real big right now.
All right.
I'm going to try to stay to I'm not scripted, but I'm trying to.
We never are. That's the point
I don't
of
have
this
a
show.
director. I got a producer, and I need a director. And see, that blonde chick, she was kind of my director.
Cheryl?
She knew, she knew what I wanted to talk about, and she'd bump me with her knee or whatever.
Yeah.
And just give me a look like, hey, stupid.
She would nudge you all the time, and that's why I love
And Grigor
Cheryl.
the Barbarian, too, because Grigor, bam, when I didn't finish, he already had a retort.
Yeah.
He don't want to hear what I'm talking about next, and boom, get back to the retort.
Yeah.
And I miss him, but what are you gonna do?
Grigor's busy. Cheryl's doing her own thing. You got me.
And I'm blessed to have you too. And no, this is actually because you are a groovy guy, man.
Thank you.
You really are, man. And, man, I saw the picture too. How'd you pick up that, honey?
Oh my god! I'll tell you off air. That's something I don't want to get into on the radio. I'll tell you off air.
That could be part of one of my next segments. Not about you, but something about me. But I think I already told that story once. I already have something else planned about that. I created different segments. I want to change things and help keep myself more focused because it's obvious. Me and a psychiatrist talked. He said, Robbie, you got to get back on the VA meds. I'm like, no, they make me have no feelings whatsoever. Can't even cry. I don't want to do that no more. He said, well, just keep smoking the pot and take the Keppra for your seizures and you'll be fine. But I lose train of thought. I can't help that. I'm just weirdo like that. But anyway,
there's nothing wrong with being a little weirdo.
Anyways, the point is Vladimir, that would be Zelensky. He saves face, and he will return for the second poker game. But this time, he will sign the bottom line. He's going to see what he can get out of Russia. He played his hand, and like Trump said, you ain't got the cards, and he don't. And he knows it, but he has to play it. He got to get something in return besides, I know America's going to protect me. We won't get invaded again. And part of that's coming up with, will Russia cede some of the land they already took during the Biden or Obama administration? Obama, they're both the same. Obama did 3 terms. We know that. He was running from the basement. But I digress again. And so he's going to play that final card. Who knows? He may actually have an ace or a king high, and maybe the house is holding nothing, but he knows damn well the house is full, brother. You ain't going to beat it with a pair of aces. Period. That's the bottom line there, man. I'm thinking about that and playing his cards, but actually Vlado, and the people are bitching about what he wore. He dresses like that every day.
Who?
Vlado didn't come in a suit and a tie. He wore his, they call it phony, what do they call it? Dressed up in his costume because he's in military garb.
Right.
You know, but he's always in military garb. And Romania is different. I mean, the president is the commander-in-chief, the CINC. Okay, C-I-N-C, commander-in-chief. And I actually had somebody on Facebook say, well, why is he saluting? He never served in the military. I'm like, he served 4 years ago when he was president. And that's where I wanted to get back. So that's why I lost train of thought. Okay, now he gets beat, and he did get cheated, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I'll have facts for that next week.
All right.
But during that 4 years, he said, bull crap. We're going to get this back, and we're going to finish what I started. And he started planning. He learned a big lesson. I would hope so. Banked the hell out of him them first 4 years with all the impeachments, Russia, which was a phony hoax. It was all BS with all the media behind him. And they decided to do that because, like I said earlier, 2016, Trump was on every single day. Oh, special guest today. Trump will just come in and chit chat with you, make you feel like you're having a cup of coffee with him, and just grooving out. And he knew what he was doing, and he got any office, but he wasn't prepared to be the sink. He didn't have the right people. We had people who had too much ties to Washington. Or there's a lot of Pittsburghers saying, I hate this. It's a pet peeve, but I'm going to do it anyways. Washington. But anyways, I digress, and that's why I am going goofy. I'm past the break time, ain't I?
Yes, you are. And with that being said, Robbie, so I'll send you out the right way. Robbie's going to step out for a minute and take his medication break. We will be right back on the other side. And just remember that this is the It's All Groovy show here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, and we will be back with more right after this. So stay tuned. All right, and with that, we are back here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3. That's here in Clearwater, 106.1 and 1340, and in Dade City at 102.3 and 1350. This is the It's All Groovy show. Hi, this is Matt, the producer again. 727-441-3000 is the phone number to call. Again, 727-441-3000. That is the phone number to call. For those of you that are watching on social media, either on Facebook or YouTube, again, the reason for the empty studio, Robbie is outside on his medication break. He will be back in shortly. You have me sitting on the other side of the cameras. That's why you cannot see me and hear me only. And for those of you that are just tuning into this show, and this is your first time listening to the It's All Groovy show, welcome aboard. We hope you enjoy your time around the fire pit here on Robbie's Island. 727-441-3000 is the phone number to call. And whatever you hear discussed on today's program is the opinions of the host, guest, and me, and do not reflect that of the Tan Talk Radio Network. Again, whatever you hear discussed on the show, the opinions expressed on said radio show are those of the host, guests on the phone line, and yours truly. They do not reflect that of the Tan Talk Radio Network. We just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. And whatever political opinions you hear on the show, whether they be mine, Robbie's, whoever's, are those of us and us alone. They're not influenced by anybody else. Those are just our political takes, and do with it what you will. Now, we'll get back to the political talk in a little while when Robbie comes back from his medication break. But we started talking about this a little bit when I brought up hockey because the Lightning are getting set to go in Washington. Lightning are on the road today. They are playing the Washington Capitals, and I bring this up for two reasons. One, as it currently stands, the Lightning are sitting in third place in the Atlantic Division, behind only the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers, heading into the start of play today. Again, the Lightning are in D.C. The way it sits right now, the Lightning would end up taking on the Florida Panthers in the opening round of the playoffs, but luckily for the Lightning, there's a month and a half to go in the regular season. The regular season ends in the middle of April, and the playoffs get started the third weekend in April. The regular season actually looks like it's officially ending around the 16th. The playoffs are going to start around April 19th and 20th. That's when we're getting started with the Stanley Cup playoffs. The reason why today's game is of importance, aside from points in the standings for the Lightning, is one Mr. Alex Ovechkin. We touched on it with Russia not playing in the Four Nations tournament and what have you. Ovechkin is on the verge of making history. He is 11 goals shy of Wayne Gretzky for the all-time goals record. Gretzky sits at 894 all-time. Ovechkin is at 833 entering play today. And Ovechkin needs 11 to tie the record, 12 to break the record, which he should, I think, be able to do before the end of the season. So there's a lot of good stuff coming up with what Ovechkin's got going down and Ovechkin chasing the goals record. The Four Nations tournament wrapped up last week. We talked about that a little on the show. What the NHL is thinking of doing is having international tournaments in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the Olympics, the World Cup of Hockey, a Four Nations tournament. They're going to start doing that every 2 years. The Olympics is next year. That's happening. That's going to be taking place next year. And then every 2 years after that, they're going to have some sort of international tournament. What I'd like the NHL to do is when those kind of years happen, next year they have both an All-Star game and the Olympic break. The All-Star game is on Long Island next year at UBS Arena, home of the New York Islanders. Then they have the Olympic break right after that. What hockey should consider doing is, since you're now sending NHL players to international tournaments, the years you have the international tournaments, like this year, no All-Star game. The years you don't have international tournaments, then you have an All-Star game. That should be at least a way to be able to keep things fresh when it comes to that regard. And now, joining us back in studio is the incomparable Robbie the Shark.
Well, thank you very much for that, Matt.
You're welcome.
I didn't inform Matt until before the show that I came up with a new type of format for myself.
Okay.
I didn't quite prepare for it. But what I was supposed to say before I went on my medication break, we'll be back with the It's All Groovy segment and top three to beat the bookie and Robbie's retarded but really groovy times. Brought to you by Gary, Jeff, and Joan at Shink's Hardware Store. Gary, Jeff, and Joan will treat you like their own. 515 Grant Street. It's hardware people. They take a real interest and they will help you get what you need done. Give them a call. Stop by 515 Grant. Shink's Hardware. Well, thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. It's so much fun for me. And I got to calm down for a minute. I come in too quick. But I wanted to come in and listen to Matt in here and get it back together because I knew that we had a little bit of difference that I didn't explain to him I was going to do. So that's my fault. What I want to go to first here. I said that wrong.
What's that?
Not the It's All Groovy segment. It's not so groovy segment.
So it's the It's All Groovy show with a new segment called It's Not That
So
Groovy. Okay.
And it's not so groovy. Now, I don't know if you remember, I'm 62 years old, and I remember back in the 60s, 70s, whatever it was, we got the calculators, right? And everybody had that little handheld calculator, it was about so wide, and had the little tipped up end there that had the red, photo cells, because it was, and then you had a battery in it too, but it was solar powered. And this is what I don't understand about solar power energy being so groovy, because it's not. Back in those days, I'd never forget. It'd be like, in the house, 9, 10 o'clock at night, sitting in the living room, watching TV, and you're using the calculator, and I ain't got no power. Boom. Go in the kitchen, turn on your incandescent light bulb. Yeah, the one that Edison created. I love when I digress like that. But it would power back up. So an incandescent light bulb, you didn't need sunlight. You follow me on that? You didn't need sunlight. Why doesn't that work with our phones? You could sit there and let it charge by just leaving the bathroom light on and leaving your phone in there or in the kitchen, whatever, and let it charge. They're still making money, electric company, because you're using a light bulb. You know what I mean? But now that's one they it's a trade-off, I guess. They lose a little bit because that phone is, and then you got the wire that you won't need anymore. It just doesn't make sense to me. Not so whatsoever at all, other than it's got to be some sort of money issue. That's why the thing, Tesla had energy for us that was free. And that's why Tesla was basically pushed to the side, because Edison won the contract, because the only way to make money is to have a light bulb that will burn out. Okay. Have electricity. And you got to hang wires and you can charge people money. God, for all the work they did scientifically, which is fabulous, both of them. I mean, they're both super human beings, to get all this knowledge, but who's paying for it? Carnegie sure as hell wasn't. Westinghouse, of course, invested real big. But that was the deal. Westinghouse was like, no, we're going to make money off this. And Tesla, he had this like energy thing. They still got that. I think you go to a museum and you put your hands around. You ever see one of those balls and you see the green light come off of there?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That's basically the Tesla deal. And it's pyramid shaped, by the way. Imagine that. Maybe I'll come up with something like that. But that's not so groovy. But so I don't want to hear any of these people talking to me about global warming. I had somebody tell me to talking about it. Do you think maybe we're in the 11th year of a solar cycle that the fossil fuels caused this solar cycle to be so extreme? Did the solar cycle not have any effect on the world these last 11 years? And there was a little bit of change in temperature, but they were very excited this year. And you do know that the sun rotates?
Yeah, the sun rotates, but the earth revolves around the sun.
But the sun does rotate. I forget how many years, but it takes till we get to see the other side of the sun, if you will.
Right.
You got the damn basketball on for me.
I forgot to change that. Hold on.
Football, the hockey, because I'm still got football in my mind. All right, now we're going to switch here for a moment, and I would go to. I'm going to talk about that or that. You had that one prepared. Robbie's retarded but real groovy moments. Now, could you imagine? You're a sergeant in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, 1st B 107th Field Artillery, 28th Infantry Division. Hoorah! It was so much fun. It really was groovy. It really was. But we used to have to drive to, what is that, Fort Town Gap to find our gap hose. And I missed the exit. Me and my driver, Clarence, I think I spoke about Clarence before. Great dude. But we missed the exit. I'm like, Clarence, I said, look, they already pulled over at the Wendy's over there. We missed the damn thing. And being the sergeant in charge, I said, screw it, keep going. I think we can make it to the next fuel stop and we'll just buy some fuel. Well, we did not make it. So I don't know. We walked in the store because there wasn't cell phones at that time. That was like mid to 88 to 95. And we got a hold of him. Actually, no, that's what happened. The convoy pulled out. And the colonel was the first one to pull up. Okay. Lieutenant Colonel. Lieutenant Colonel. He's like, what the F did you do, Sergeant Ferenz? I says, we screwed up and didn't fill up the fuel tank, the spare on the back. And so he had to take his fuel tank off of his Jeep. And he gave me a hose to siphon. I said, I don't know how to do that. And he asked Clarence, and Clarence is a black dude, okay? And he played the black card. He played the race card. He's cool. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never had a car. It was hilarious. And I had the lieutenant colonel on his knees sucking gasoline out of the can so he could refill my Jeep. Now, is that a groovy and retarded moment? I think it was. It was a lot of fun, man. Could you imagine that happened to you? You don't plan that crap. It just
siphoning gas. You're right.
But I made a lieutenant colonel do it. Okay, you're a lieutenant colonel. The next step is you get the full bird. You're a full colonel. And then after colonel, you become a general.
Right.
So I mean, the dude is big, man. I mean, he was in charge of the whole. He dude was big. Okay, and I couldn't believe I did that because I was not getting down on my knees and getting any gasoline in my goddamn mouth. I wasn't doing it. No way in hell. I don't care. I'll get in somebody else's Jeep, send somebody to pick it up. That's the way I felt about it. And I can't believe it because, I mean, I could have lost stripes over that, but I conned him into doing it, acted like we were stupid. Another retarded but real moment. It really was kind of a groovy time. I just know I look back sometimes and think about different things that I ran into and how wild it is. And matter of fact, I'm glad I went off the tangent. Yesterday, I was taking the bus to the VA, and I don't know. Did you have internet problems yesterday, Matt?
No, I was fine at home.
PSTA was down, and they gave me directions, and even Google Maps. None of them were conferring, and I'm like, I'm new to this district. It's West Leelman in Seminole. They call it West Leelman because I get Leelman's that close.
Right.
We're not actually a part of Leelman, where that's unincorporated. We are Seminole, and I don't know where the hell I'm at. I have no clue, man. Half a mile's all I go, one way or the other, and on foot. So I followed directions, and I'm on the bus and telling the driver what I got to do. And he said, dude, you're on the wrong bus, man. I'm like, what? So you got to be on the other side of the street and go the other way. Like, what? I said, nah. He told me to go down here to 72nd. I got it right here on the internet. He says, we're having internet problems. And they were. So he lets me off the bus. Bam, I across the street, which is 83rd. I guess that's Park. It becomes Park. 83rd and Park is where I'm at. So you go down Park. And that I hate Park Street, Park Boulevard, all of that crap. Still nothing up there. That's good. But on the way back, I got the correct bus and all I have you. And I come back and I stopped at Seminole Mall to pick up the second bus. And it was a driver that picked me up. And I thanked him very much for the information. And he's on his 10, 15-minute lunch break. And these people walk up to me. I don't know if they thought I was homeless or not. I don't care. But they walked up and said, hey, dude, man, are you hungry? I said, not really. He says, I got a whole half a hoagie here that wasn't touched. It was cut in half. And, I didn't touch it. You can have it. I says, I'm sick. I can't eat it. I had food poisoning. I can't, but I really appreciate that. And she tells me, we just like to do nice things for people. And I said, oh, that's super groovy, man. This is cool. I haven't talked to too many people lately, and I love conversation. And she walks away, and I'm talking to her boyfriend there, and he says to me, do you smoke pot? I said, well, yes, I have my medical license. And says, you don't mind? I'm like, no. And he lights up a bowl and doesn't offer me any. And I said, I wasn't going to ask. I don't care. Because he was just stupid at the moment, I guess. And stupid is spelled, by the way, STEWPIT, stupid, like being at the fire pit. Because you're stupid if you ain't at the fire pit. Okay. So anyways, his old lady comes back and she got this full package of, like it's a cheese stick wrapped in pepperoni. Oh, I'd go to town on that. I just love it. And, but I got no appetite. I'm just getting over being sick. Coming back from the hospital, I puked at the hospital. And so I tell him no. And then she says, do you smoke weed? And I said, well, yeah, I have my medical license. I'm prescribed it. And she says, well, give him a damn bowl. And he said, nah, he reached in and he was going to make me a bowl. And he said, nah, here, boom. And he handed me this big nugget, man. That's definitely $10, $20 worth. And I'm like, wow, that's really groovy. And he says, he's reaching in his bag and says, what? And he says, get you a pipe. I said, no. I got one of those at home because I take my medication later on when I go back home. And I couldn't believe it. And this is the new stuff I'm on. So I could get a hold of this guy, man, because he got it from a dispensary, but they got so many different flavors to choose from that I got tired of choosing because they all made me choke and cough. Do those stupid gummies. They don't do what they're supposed to do. This over-the-counter crap.
Yeah, I've heard certain gummies are kind of weak.
And I'm talking about dispensary stuff.
Yeah, that's different.
No, it's not different. They're the same.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I felt no difference from either one.
Okay.
I really didn't. There was one that's I forget what it was called, but it wasn't really supposed to be a pot substitute. It had some kind of other freaky stuff in it, and it got me high. And I didn't want to just. I mean, I like the initial high you get for the last couple 15 minutes, and then you just groove out, and you're chill and able to be yourself and not let the bipolar jump up and down. And but they all make you choke and cough.
Really?
But this crap, man, I can't understand. And it's like a pack of cigarettes. Do you want non-filter, which are going to be rough on your throat, or you want filter? Give me something smooth. Some people don't like it smooth, but I do. I want to enjoy it. It smells great. 1, 2, 3 puffs. That's all you need. And you're good for the next 3-4 hours. And then you realize then I think it's time again. And yeah, that's why 11:30, 3-4 hours. I'm up at 7:30 in the morning, and I got to have my morning meds. So about that time, actually, I usually do wait an hour. It's time for me to actually. So I'm doing 5 hours. If I have my first medication, 7, I didn't even think about that till now. That's pretty good. So it's lasting me 5 hours. This new stuff. So that's super groovy. I got to find out because they got all kind of brands. If anybody knows it, Robbie Ferenz, Ferencz, Foxtrot, Echo, Romeo, Echo, November, Charlie, Zulu. Look me up on Facebook and tell me which one you find the best. Okay, wow. Sugar Plum. I'm looking at the clock now. I am running out of time because what I got next is kind of.
Oh yeah, you still got time. Yeah, you got time.
Let me get to the right page here because I scribbled notes and I was all going to put it all in order, but Robbie's lazy, stupid butt.
No, Robbie's Robbie.
That's funny too. I found a guy because we're going to get the top 3 to beat the bookie here.
I didn't think we would. Football season's over, isn't it?
Well, that's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
I don't think did I do this last week?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. I'm like, why are we doing top 3 to beat the bookie? There's no football.
Like I said, we're not on the same page. No, I'm being quiet about that. I should call you maybe, never mind. I can't get here that early.
Right.
Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. Besides that, I can't stand it. That's why I love. Oh, that's why I wanted to mention this segment. Top 3 to beat the bookie with the one and only Robbie the Shark is brought to you by the Sand Sharks next door and
Sand
Shakers. Thank you. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Brought to you by Sand Shakers, 700 Edgewood, Clearwater. Man, they got great food. You know what? There was a dude that he ate in there last week. He was in there, and I don't know what he was eating, but it looked groovy. And he's getting his to go today. I'm like, well, what'd you get? Shrimp and grits. You ever heard of shrimp and grits?
I have. It's a very southern staple.
I never heard of that one. Now, I've been down here in the South for 18 baseball seasons. Never heard of it. But anyways, it's a really groovy place to stop. It's cool, man. Got, what do you call it? Reggae type Caribbean music going on. It's a groovy place to stop at. So stop by, man. You really enjoy yourselves. And, that was something I'm not going to have time for. Top 3 to beat the bookie. Like Matt said, he thought it was over, but it's really not. First, let me explain. The Shark did pull 34 for 50 regular season, and that's a chitty 68.9% or 68%. And including playoffs, 38 for 61 or 62.29% for the year, a dismal 26.6% in the playoffs. But you can still beat the bookie. Because after week 4, Yuns are playing with the DKFD DraftKings FanDuel money. And so you should have walked away with some bucks in your pocket if you're actually a bettor. I, first of all, I don't want to be rude, but I hate basketball. Okay. I love the NHL. I love Major League Baseball. I really love them both. But it's tough to call my uncle, as I called him, Uncle Richard. Everybody called him Uncle Iggy, and that was his nickname. but it's one of the reasons he said he loved me so much. He said, "Why do you do that?" I said, "Because I respect you, man. Because you tell me the truth." And he does. And he hated the NHL and MLB because Vegas is making the money on those games, man. They're so tough to call, and because the bookie lays his money one side or the other is what the local bookie used to do back in the day. You could look it up, see how it works. But the DFNFL, it's like military strategy, and with a little bit of soap opera now with the referee crapola. But it's much easier to predict. And I digress. But so anyways, I lost my home back in 2018, and I had to live at a VA homeless complex, and also had non-VA people there called HEP. It's pretty groovy. Like I said, I hate basketball, but the NHL and the NBA playoffs were on at the same time. And we only had one rec room. And this one rec room, you had two TVs. So you had the NHL here on the left, and you had NBA on the right. And that's why I changed my thing to the middle tonight. Because I sat towards the middle. Because I want to see both games. I want to be able to yik-yak in the morning, right? So boom, I go to commercial. I'm over there watching basketball, or my eyes are switching back and forth at the same time, trying to pull it in. But it was so much fun. I do enjoy that. Basketball just bores me. I'm sorry.
I agree. College basketball, I'm okay with. The NBA, no.
Well, college basketball, they make it fun because any retard, that was the smartest thing they ever did. That brought a lot of people into it. Is the stupid, what do you call it there? The Sweet 16, all that crap. All
March Madness.
March Madness, yeah, thank you. And so you can be just a doofus, and so they do it at work too, and you might win money, so it is groovy, and it gets you to watch. And if your team don't get anywhere near there, you stop watching, or you watch a little bit just to keep informed at work and not stand there like Joey when they're talking about something that takes intelligence on Friends, so you stay informed with it. And I won't fall for it. I can't stand it. But I'm sure I'll follow a little bit just because of top 3 to beat the bookie. I don't want it to end, but it has to, because I'm only good at pick at the NHL. I hold a 72% record over, I can't count the first season, 17 seasons now, and that's pretty darn good. That's damn good. But we'll do just like we did last year. The first week of the NFL season, of course, is really the last week, the opening game. I should put it that way. Week 1 and the opening games, that is really the last preseason game, because that's when you see all the starters, which we don't anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say you barely see any starters in the final preseason game anymore.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
And so I will call in with my Super Bowl prediction on that. We'll talk about that on that day. But then the following week, I'll come back, and we're going to beat the bookie again this year, folks. Okay, if you follow me through the playoffs, you only wound up 62%, but that's 12% above the bookie. So I'm sure you had a little bit of whiskey and rye, and your Chevy was dry and what all have you there. It's all groovy. Sugar plum.
That's all right. I got it.
I don't know where I'm at. I lost my train of thought because I looked at the clock. But hey, man, I do want to say this.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody who listens to the show. Oh, yeah, I did. I ran into a nurse, too. They got my new hours here from the VA, which was groovy. I can't believe it. They found me on Facebook. So it is groovy, and that's what makes it fun for me, because I get to meet new people and hopefully enlighten you and not just give you the same crap you get on Fox News, or for you liberal rats, CNN, whatever. But I just want to say this, man. Peace, groovy.
And on that note, that will do it for this edition of the It's All Groovy Show. We will be back same time, same place, same channel next week. Until then, it's all groovy.